Dude. All right. So I clearly love the fitness industry because I think it's like a catalyst that gets everyone in, right? And it gets people moving in and kind of working on themselves and all that sort of nonsense. So having said that, how did you get into this whole scene?
So when I first started fitness, or when I first became a coach or PT.
How do you get into fitness?
Okay, into fitness. So I used to do a lot of sport as a kid. But around like the age of 17, I completely like stopped doing any form of sport, any form of fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't start again until I was about 26. And then I was living in Brighton. I lived there for 4.5 years. I finished university, stayed for 1.5 years extra down there, and then moved back home. And then just joined my like local gym, which was like at the leisure center.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I don't know, just fell in love with it. Like started going X amount of times a week, and that grew quickly. And then just like we just spoke about, I went off traveling for like 8 months in Asia. And that's probably one of the things I miss most, was just going and exercising regularly. Like we done tons of stuff like hikes, like walks, stuff like that each day. I went to a Muay Thai camp in Thailand for like a couple of weeks, but I just really missed exercising like regularly. I got to Australia, was exercising a lot, but not like lifestyle wise was completely different. I wasn't like completely focused on that. And then I came home and in 2017 and done my qualifications to become a PT. So I figured like while I was traveling, that's what I wanted to put my focus on, what I wanted my career to be. And then from then got a job like a couple of weeks after finishing that course, worked in the gym, like a commercial gym for a couple of years. And then I used to catch the bus from Putney to Wandsworth each day to go to work. And I saw this billboard appear for like CrossFit Putney. And I just kept seeing it. And there was like an urge inside me to just like try it out. Signed up there, I think within like membership wise, I signed up on like the lower tier, so like 3 sessions a week. Within a week, I asked to put that to 5. By the end of the month, it was like unlimited. And then I've just been like in love with CrossFit like ever since. And that's just led to me, meeting like so many good people, making so many good relationships. And finding something that I like really love doing.
Yeah, for sure. What was the dynamic like switching from a commercial gym and then going to train and coach out of like a CrossFit gym? Would you ever go back?
No. No, I can say that for certain. And I don't know, like it's just a community really. Like you go into a commercial gym and like I worked there, but like you could walk into a commercial gym and no one says hello to you, no one knows who you are. You're there for just like an hour or 2 by yourself and you walk back out. I guess it can be a little bit lonely, I guess, sometimes. And then like you go into a CrossFit gym or you go into like CrossFit Putney and like almost everyone will know who you are. You speak to everyone, like people that are interested, you make relationships. Not just me, but I've seen that between like other members and coaches, like building relationships that I definitely didn't see when I was working in a commercial gym.
Yeah, and that's what we're all kind of like craving for, at least for the moment, right? Is that sort of connection. And I think that's what CrossFit has done so beautifully well, is like creating that community where everyone can then connect and like learn from each other. And it's a place that you want to be, you know what I mean? Even if it's not training, you want to just hang out with these people outside of the gym, rather than like, you know, dragging your ass to the gym, putting the treadmill on like 3 or 10 on an incline, holding on to the handles and then just like pulling yourself up, you know what I mean? Yeah, the community aspect is phenomenal. I think that's something that is the best thing about CrossFit. I would go as far to say.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the same. I met so many good people. Like my housemates, we moved into this place like a couple of months ago. I met them both, well, one through work. He handles all like the media and content at CrossFit Putney, and another one who's became a member. And like, they're like some of my closest friends now. So I wouldn't be, without CrossFit, I wouldn't have met them. I wouldn't be living here. Yeah.
I also think it's the closest thing to like sport as well, right? So, I played rugby growing up, and the kind of bond you get with the lads on the field, because you're in the hurt locker together, right? It's the same when people are out on the floor in the box. Like you're doing a workout like absolutely disgusting. You kind of develop that bond that you can't really describe it.
Yeah. Think about like maybe like suffering with other people. And plus like pushing yourself as well. I guess like it's a lot harder to push yourself that hard, or maybe you can't even replicate it if you're not doing it with other people.
How is the coaching scene in the CrossFit kind of changed for you individually? Have you like learned more? As your eyes kind of been open to a different way, or has it just been like, it's same, but in a different environment?
Oh no, 100%. I've learned a lot more, especially like just skill wise. But then I guess like I found like in a commercial gym, it was kind of like you go out, you do this, like you're kind of almost like on your own a little bit. They set you targets, like you have to go and hit it. Whereas so my first job, it was kind of, I guess, like fresh out the blocks with that first commercial gym. Whereas like, I had a couple of years of like coaching under my belt when I started at CrossFit. But I've definitely had like, I guess a lot more mentorship coming from like coaches and like head coach at CrossFit Putney, rather than like I said, they kind of just first like couple of weeks, they kind of like, you need to hit these targets. We expect you to hit these. It was like a 3-month probation. It was like, if you don't hit these targets, then you're kind of out the door. Whereas like, I guess at CrossFit Putney for me, there's been a lot more like guidance, help in terms of like my coaching and stuff like that. And also being like inspired from people around you. I found that when I was at the commercial gym, I would be doing a lot of like additional courses, just trying to up my knowledge. And like I'd be surrounded maybe like coaches or like other people at the gym who just wouldn't have done that at all. And it would have been there for years, and I didn't know them to speak of like any kind of like additional courses that they would be taking to make themselves better at their job. Whereas that's completely different, I find, since I've started coaching CrossFit.
Yeah, man, it's that environment created, right? Like it's like completely two different, completely separate things. It's really weird that it's in the same industry. I kind of did some similar journey as yourself, but was in and out of like leisure centers and just kind of like PTing people here, there, and everywhere on parks and shit. But as soon as I got into the CrossFit scene, it was like, oh wow, like okay, we need to work on like personal development and growth of me as an individual, so then I can then pass it on, rather than like trying to grow a business or thinking about numbers or all these things that puts us in like a competitive state, like financial wise, rather than how can I improve the service that I give to improve people's lives, and then everything else will just kind of like follow suit.
No, I definitely agree with that.
So I mean, I'm excited by travel. So where was the best place that you went?
I don't know, probably best experience for me was like Vietnam. We bought bikes, or like motorbikes in Hanoi, and then biked all the way down to Ho Chi Minh over like 3.5 weeks. So that's probably one of the best experiences of my life, I think. And like just ending up in like random towns that had like one guest house with like one restaurant just in the middle of somewhere that I would never even knew existed.
Yeah.
Rather than just following like the normal like beaten track of where most people, when they go to Vietnam, just follow that same route down like the coast. And we kind of just got to go like inland a bit and just kind of like find our own way. So that was definitely up there. But I'd say I didn't come, like I pretty much enjoyed each place I went to. I think I didn't really have like a bad experience while I was out there.
I've still not made it over to that side of the world. Like I keep meaning to. I am kind of over here, but I'm just very far south.
Yeah.
and still miles away from everything else. Closer to Antarctica than I am anything else, which is kind of a crazy thought.
Yeah, and then I guess like Australia is so big, and then you go even further south and you find New Zealand.
Yeah,
I just don't really get how like the actual distance is involved. It's just like huge.
It's crazy, man. Like, us very naive British people will be like, oh yeah, cool. Like I'm in New Zealand, I can like kind of pop over to Australia like quite regularly. You know what I mean? I can throw a tennis ball that far, no problem. And I'm like, the closest part of Australia to here will still take 4 hours on a fucking plane. I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. I can get to like Iceland or Turkey from Britain in 4 hours. I can go to the other side of the continent. And from here, I'm not even on another piece of land. It's absolutely insane.
No, it is. Yes, it's massive. I didn't even make it across to the other side of Australia, to Perth. While I was there, I pretty much just stayed on that side. Went to Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney, and a couple places like inland, and then just up the coast really.
Australia is an insane place. Like you look at it like geographically, topography, geology, like it doesn't make any sense that things live there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, yeah, I knew the furthest inland I think I went was like 4 hours, and from Brisbane, and that was pretty much as soon as I got to Australia. And that was just to a town to do some farm work. I thought, I'll get my farm work out of the way. It'll guarantee me like 2 years straight off the bat. Made it like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then like went back in and headed to Melbourne and finished it off like at the end of the first year. But that was hot. I remember like so many days getting like cooled off just because of the heat. Alarms going off because the brown snake had been like spotted in the town. Stuff like that. Yeah.
No, fuck that, man. Nah, I'm not a fan of snakes, man.
No, me neither.
No. I was like, the only thing you've got here is like a flightless bird that is kind of blind that will kind of fall over and break its own ribs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kiwi bird, right? And that's the fucking national animal.
Okay.
It's crazy. How did you transition over to like athlete wise in CrossFit? Was it a natural transition or did someone pull you over or?
I don't know. I just started wanting to compete. I guess there's a lot seems to be going on here in like the UK and especially like London, like fitness scene. And I guess it was a bit like broken up because like I was supposed to do my first like functional fitness competition like last year, but then in the summer, but then that kind of like got cancelled because of COVID and like pushed back. And then this summer's just been a bit like crazy. I think I've hit like about 9 different comps like overall.
Okay, no.
9-10 comps. So the last one, was out in Dubai. So that one wasn't necessarily like CrossFit. That was more functional fitness with turf games. But that I only got back from there like a week and a half ago. That was good. I'd say like the biggest the CrossFit one that I did this summer was European Championships, and that was my first individual and CrossFit competition. And that just made me hungry to do more, to be honest. And then we got SID Origin, so Strength in Depth Origins, which is like about 70 different boxes, like here in the UK, like all competing. It's like teams of 12. I think it's 7 guys, 5 girls, and then you have to have a master's athlete, 35, and a 40-year-old or at least above those ages, male and female, in your team. So it's more like coaches and members. I think it's really good for like building like communities, I guess. And that's in Bath next weekend, actually.
Oh, the next weekend?
Yeah.
That's a really good competition. I really enjoyed that one. I did that one like 4 years ago, maybe. What am I? Cool. Yeah, somewhere around there, 3 or 4 years ago. Like, maybe a year before I came over here. I really enjoyed it. I think the facility is really, really cool. I think the workouts were really cool. The way it was run was spot on. And yeah, like you said, like it adds a bit of a different dynamic, right? Because it's like members and coaches, and also like kind of older and younger and more experienced, less experienced, and you kind of get split up and put together, and you're in the pool
Yeah,
and on the track, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think sometimes you got to be a bit tactical about your teams and stuff in terms of like there could be 2 competitions going at once.
Mm-hmm.
But that should be a lot of fun. Actually, looking forward to that one.
That was by far. I've never even been to the city before. Being a northerner, we're not allowed down there.
Last winter, I think, yeah. But it's a really beautiful city as well.
Yeah, it is. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I can't let people know that though, because I am northern. Anything south of Stoke is no man's land. We don't go anywhere near it. But
no, it should be good. There should be some really good boxes there as well. So some good athletes to see as well.
Yeah, some insane. Some really good, really, really good. Some athletes coming through a lot of the boxes. I'm really surprised, and also, well, I wouldn't say I was surprised. I'm also excited for boxes coming out of London, because I think they're utilizing space so well and kind of like playing on the whole indie, quirky London lifestyle a lot more than other cities are, right? Probably because there's more money to plow into the boxes, which is fair enough. But at the same time, I think, with the UK, wherever London goes, everything else usually follows. So I think it's doing really, really well. And I think a lot of the boxes out of there are doing incredible.
No, yeah, there's so much going on. It seems like there's like different competitions and stuff like every weekend.
Yeah.
Like just like in-house box ones or slightly bigger ones, just constantly happening, especially like over summer. It was just like, seemed like, yeah, quite non-stop.
Yeah, I really like, I geek out over this shit, right? I've been in this game a while. So I like to see how people run their boxes. You know what I mean? Whether it's a dual rule system, whether it is, we kind of go every half an hour, a new class starts, whether there's 2 coaches on, whether there's 1 coach on, whether they have like 10, 12 classes a day or 2. Like, I think it's just really, really cool to see how CrossFit's kind of branched out, and just developing and learning as it's going. You know what I mean? Like it's still relatively young. It's only like 20 years old.
Yeah.
That's, still a kid in the whole grand scheme of things, but so is like sports science as a whole. So I am really excited to see what ideas come to the table next, and where the board gets pushed. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, preaching to I absolutely love it. I don't know. I was just hooked from like day one. Like I said, like as soon as I went into the box, I did like a couple sessions and was just like, yeah, hooked.
Have you been to any other boxes around the UK?
Not many, none like outside of London. I haven't trained in many boxes like at all, really, other boxes. Trained up like a WIT and then
how's that?
Oh yeah, WIT's really cool. The guys down there are really nice as well. And obviously they do quite a lot of events and stuff, so I've been there for a fair few of those as well. And then I was lucky enough to meet the guys at like Motion, like after the first pandemic. So like Grace and Harrison and like Dudley, they and their place in like Surbiton is like an awesome box. So I've been there. I've actually taken like weightlifting sessions up there as well in the past. And which other ones? Yeah, I don't think I've been to too many more. I think like, yeah, I guess like when I've probably done CrossFit a third of the time, like outside of boxes with the whole pandemic stuff. So I only did it for 7 months, I think. And then the gyms were shut down.
That's insane to see your progress though, man. That's also really fucking cool. And, smashing something.
Yeah, so like when that first one happened, I had a kettlebell. I had some like PT stuff, like things that I would do some strength training in the house, but no barbell, didn't have a dumbbell at the time. I ordered a kettlebell, I found one, even though they like seem to sell out like everywhere.
Yeah.
So I used to I had a 32 kg kettlebell that I used to carry down for my like hour of the day outside. I used to walk 7 minutes to a running track, which was luckily like across the common from where I was living. And then carry that to the track, had like skipping rope, and then just some bodyweight exercises. And I pretty much just did like a conditioning workout like every day there, or just ran for like 4 months, pretty much like every day.
Fuck.
And then the gym's open again, finally got to come back in, and they closed again. I had a barbell for like the last two, but only, I think one of them I had like 70 kg for the barbell, and then the last one I managed to get like 160, and we went to B&Q and got the trestles that, you know, that like painters would like stand on. So I used that as like a rack, so it could hold like 200 kilos. So it wasn't the safest, or like I say, it was quite shaky, but
Yeah.
like needs must. And then I used to just go and like jump the fence to go onto the outdoor gymnasiums in the common like early in the morning, like in winter, so I could just like practice my gymnastics there.
Damn. Legit,
Yeah.
like ghetto
It was just
workout.
like whatever, like however I could, really. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like you said, needs must. You got to get it in somehow, especially
Yeah.
if you got aspirations to compete. You know, like
Yeah.
athletes do some crazy shit to get something called fitness in, which is always funny to watch. But fuck, running every day, that sounds like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I'd say I probably still don't enjoy it that much anymore, but it's definitely like yeah, it's definitely because of that, those 4 months, it's definitely like a strength of mine. And like people, like I guess like unexpected as well, because I'm not the smallest like CrossFit athlete, so, or person doing CrossFit either, so which is kind of good, I guess, if it's a bit of a surprise to people.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're veggie too, right?
Yeah. So I've been veggie, but I haven't. So I gave up meat and fish before I started CrossFit. So I 6 months. So I started CrossFit in like September 2019, I think. Yeah. And I'd given up meat back in May, and then like the week before CrossFit Putney opened, I went away on holiday to Greece. And I said, that'll be when I give up fish. Like after I get back from Greece, I gave myself this like date. As soon as I got back from Greece, I cut fish out, and then went to CrossFit Putney like a day or two later, like after the weekend on the Monday. And I just haven't eaten meat or fish since.
What's that like competing wise with the whole, you know, super high intensity?
I don't know. I think it's I found it fine. I eat a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but I don't know how to compare it really, because as I say, this is obviously the fittest like I've ever been, but I don't know what I'd be like if I was still eating like meat or fish, or what the difference would be. I definitely always feel a lot lighter, like after my meals than I used to be. So just wanted to test it out and see how like I felt with it, and I felt good, but and then it became just more like an ethical choice after like 6 months or so. I just felt like I couldn't go back to doing it. I honestly thought it would be a lot harder than I did, because I used to eat a fair bit of meat, like most meals every day, some fish like most days. And so I thought it would be a really like tough thing for me to stick to, especially with training. But like, to be honest, it was so much easier than I thought it would be.
How's the recovery been? You felt okay?
Yeah, recovery is absolutely fine. I think like when I first started at CrossFit Putney, I started speaking to our nutritionist there, like Bex. She's one of the girls that I competed with in Dubai as well. And then we kind of talked through like calories at the time, and then like how much protein I should be aiming for, what kind of like ways I could get that in I wasn't getting in before, or without the meat and the fish. And then recovery's fine. Yeah, it's good.
It's one of those things, right, where people are quick to shoot it down who haven't tried it, and it's all about, you know, the law of individuality of like, does it work for you? Yes. Okay, great. Then it works in your reality. Does it work for that person? No. Or then it doesn't work in that reality. I think people are really scared to play around with nutrition. You know what I mean? They jump on bandwagons real quick, or they shoot them down real quick, rather than like stepping in someone's shoes and walking a mile. I can't comment on vegetarianism or veganism or carnivore or anything because I haven't done it, right? And I'm always super interested to hear how people perform on it.
Yeah, I'd say well, I guess for me, since doing this, it's only been like an upward trend, and I'm not going to sit here and tell everyone that's because I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
But like, it's worked for me in terms of, I feel good with my nutrition, my recovery is good, my performance is up, and obviously that's down to like a bunch of factors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's something that I will stick with. And then I don't know whether I'll take that further or not, to like being vegan eventually or not. I guess that will take a bit more focus on my part and what I'm like putting in my body and how I'm getting certain things. But yeah, I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
if there's any place to do it like veganism, it's going to be London, right? There's a lot of quirky little shops that can help you out and can supply all the goods. So I think if there's anywhere that's got the accessibility to be able to do it, it's going to be London.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think, I don't know what it would have been like doing this like 20 years ago, or trying to be vegan like 20 years ago, how much harder it would be, especially like if you're going to eat out or wanting to like buy something on the go. But obviously nowadays there's so many options, so many alternatives for people to go to.
Yeah, I am gonna add that some of the best meals I've ever had in my life have been vegan, and I've always felt great after it. Never had any like digestional distress or anything like that. Been great going down, great coming out. You know what I mean? Like, it's been fantastic. Yeah. So again, don't shoot something down if you've never tried it.
No, 100%. I'd say like a big factor that my ex-girlfriend, she was like, she wasn't vegetarian at the time, but pretty much she like never cooked meat for herself, never cooked fish for herself, and she was a good cook. So like when we started like dating, she would, most of the meals she'd cook didn't have like any like meat or fish in, but they were some of like the best meals I was like eating, like full stop. And like it was just like, I don't know, maybe it was before, I guess I'd pick a meat or a piece of fish and be like, okay, that's like what I'm going to base my meal around. Whereas I say like when she was cooking, it was like completely different. I know the effort to like, there wasn't like one just main focus to like the meal. I would be like, oh, I'm having meat, what carb am I putting with that? What piece of veg am I putting with that? Where it was kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was like just a lot more wholesome, and that kind of like edged me to eating less and less and less meat as I was going through our relationship. And then I just decided to go like full vegetarian, even though she didn't. But yeah, some of the like same here, some of the best meals, well, I guess they're the only meals I eat these days, but best meals ever I've had are like vegetarian or like vegan.
Have you got Jamaican heritage?
Yeah. So my dad's family, so my dad was born here in the UK, but his parents immigrated over from Jamaica.
Oh, okay, yeah, understood. So like legit, like vegan Jamaican food is absolute bomb. It's incredible. Like put jackfruit with everything, shag grill that bad boy. Oh my days.
No, I'd say like probably the one thing I do miss most is like, for me, like jerk chicken. Like I miss that probably the most. That's the most tempting thing for me to like slip up on. Not that I have, but I do miss that. But like even like West Indian, like vegetarian food, it's just I could just eat that all day and die a happy man, I think.
100%. Don't sleep on Jamaican food. It's insane. Yeah, totally. Talk to me about like competing in Dubai, man, because that's a completely different climate. That must be one hell of an experience.
That was amazing actually. Like it was such a good comp put on by Turf Games. It was at this gym called Max and Eagle, which like I think will just be a dream to train out of. It was more like a facility rather than just like a gym. Like downstairs was huge. It was like kind of like your stereotypical like commercial gym, like tons of all machines everywhere, but like it just seemed like anyone you could ask for was there. Then you go upstairs and there's this huge, probably double the size of that, like CrossFit area, which went around the corner into like a huge bit of like turf track. And there was like 10 lifting platforms for like weightlifting or racks. And then they had like a boxing ring gym at the back. Then you go outside, you had a pool, which one of the workouts was the pool workout, which was like quality. And you go around the corner and there's like an outdoor rig with this huge AstroTurf area and then like a 1.2K like running loop.
Fuck.
And like, that's where we held it. So there was like, so Thursday night lights, there's like one event and it's like the longer endurance event. So you're competing in teams of 5. So I was with like James and Bex, who I work with at CrossFit Putney, and then Dan and Sapphire, who both compete at quite a high level at CrossFit. I think they both got to the semis.
Wow.
Like last year. Yeah, so that was a really good workout. That involved like running, rowing, skiing. And then you came back on the Friday, there were 4 more events. And then the top 4 teams qualified for the final, which was like a winner take all final, which was like a really long one. But yeah, I was just getting to do things like I've never done a swimming workout in that, like we're having a ski erg at one end and the dumbbells at the other and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'd love to like go back out there and train at that gym and just be able to like wheel your ski erg down to the side of the gym and your coach writes you a program with like stuff that people only get to do in a, like competitions would be like, yeah, a dream. But yeah, it was, the heat was, I'd say like the events were only about 14 minutes long, all of them. So it wasn't too bad. So as soon as I was done with those, you just head back inside, go upstairs, get in the aircon. But yeah, the heat was quite intense. I'd say that Thursday night workout as well, where it was like a longer endurance event and there was quite a fair bit of running. Just feels like the air just felt like heavier. And like the ski erg handles would just be dripping with sweat. So my like, even though it was like a more aerobic like workout, my forearms were just blowing from having to grip the handles like so much harder than usual. But we came second overall, which was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, well, when you get so close to coming first, like you want to come first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why you compete, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Like I've
That
been
was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've been in that climate, right? I've not worked out. I didn't even train when I went over to Dubai. I was like, fuck this, it's too hot. Like I am as white as they come, you know what I mean? And that is the hottest temperature I've ever experienced. And walking like I want to say like 12 meters from the hotel to the fucking
What time of year did you go?
That's a good question. Maybe August.
Okay, so it's still
July.
a bit hotter, yeah.
But you are right with the air. It does feel heavier just because like the air's hot, and I could not imagine working out in that heat, mate.
I think like when we were there, maybe like it got up to like mid-30s, maybe like low 30s, like most of the time. But yeah, you'd just be pouring with sweat. Even like working out in some of the gyms. So we went to like CrossFit Alioth on the CrossFit boxes.
Oh wow, yeah.
It was so like we did a team workout there. And that was just, yeah, I remember that was the first time I'd worked out like somewhere that wasn't completely air-conned. And it was just like, yeah, I was like, bloody hell, this is gonna be tough.
It's like working out in a sauna.
Yeah.
Do you like saunas? Do you use them regularly?
Occasionally, if I go for my so I do swimming. I just swim on like a Thursday. So this morning I went to like Putney Leisure Centre and just swam there. And then if it's sometimes I'll just jump into the steam room and sauna there as well.
Yeah, like I fucking struggle sitting down in the sauna. Never mind like working out. You know what I mean? Like there's this crazy guy. I don't know his name, but Joe Rogan talks about him all the time. That takes an assault bike into the bloody sauna and pedals away. I'm like, no. That's not happening. I'm gonna try and survive in this heat. Yeah, that's insane. So like how many days was the Dubai?
So that the comp was 2 days. I went for like 9 in total. So we went, me and my housemates, they came with me. We rented that Airbnb in like downtown. And we went the Friday before, and then the competition was like the following Thursday. And then we stayed till the Monday. So stayed for the weekend, then flew back. Just good. It was just like a nice break as well, like a holiday. I hadn't had a holiday now since, or like a long, like at least like a week-long holiday for 2 years, I think, at that point.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Whereabouts did you go?
In Dubai.
Yeah, you go all the malls and the fucking
The mall.
beachfront.
Yeah, we went to the mall a fair bit. We were literally like 3 minutes drive from like where the mall is. You could
Yeah.
see it from like the Airbnb. I think like for food, we went out to there's like a timeout market there. We went there quite often. There's like lots of different vendors. Apparently, there's just a couple of those, like Time Out magazine, a couple around the world where they like pair up a bunch of different vendors like that they pick. Found some, I forgot the name of it.
You do the water
like
park?
a really nice vegan restaurant. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you do the water park?
No, we didn't go to the water park actually. We were actually pretty bad at that sort of stuff. Like we pretty much just kind of chilled and relaxed at the beach in between like training.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to switch off and relax, refresh, like reset. So when I come back, I feel just like energized.
I'm probably more of a big kid than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not one for like slides and roller coasters and stuff. Like,
no, fuck roller coasters, man. I'm not crazy on heights.
I will work out any day of the week, but going on a slide where I'm falling down, I'll be like, no, thank you.
No way. You got to get on the water park, man. Like that was a good time.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like the money over there though, man, like the things that they've built, like you literally, I don't know how the architects have come up with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I've seen like the Burj Khalifa as well, like the size of it and that being lit up like differently every night. And then the money, I guess I've never seen so many flash cars in my entire life. Seemed like every other car that went past was like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Lamborghini. Yeah.
100%, man. Like it's definitely an experience. Like I'd love to go back, but there's more places on the list to take off first. Like I definitely prefer rural than urban.
Yeah. I'd love to go back and just train. So I think like for me it would be I'd train, I'd go to the beach, I'd go train again, like just on repeat. I like such amazing spaces, but there's definitely other places as well on the list that I would
Have you thought about taking a job out there?
No, not at the moment. Maybe in the future. I don't know. We'll see what comes up, I guess.
I know they're looking for they're always looking for people to go over and coach, and it seems like it would suit you down on the ground. So
maybe in the future. I think it's pretty good here. We just moved into this flat, so I got like a year's lease. So who knows? Maybe next winter.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like never say never, right?
Yeah.
What so what's on the cards next? Are you going to be setting your sights on another competition soon, or you can't have some downtime?
So after SID, I think we're just going to focus. Well, I think there's like a Turf Games winter, but then the main focus for me is like going to be the Open. So like end of February. So I think like I've just done so many competitions over summer. Sorry. Me and my coach were sitting down and like going through the year and like plotting out what should be the main focus. So like going into the Open and the quarters, and then we'll see what happens, I guess, after that.
Like play it by ear, right? The Open's always going to suck, even if you're like scale it down to the absolute bare bones, it's all gonna hurt.
I'm looking forward to doing it with people this year.
Last year, you did it at home, didn't you?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. So like the last workout I did was on those gymnasiums in Clapham Common. With like the bar was too small for me in terms of height, so I couldn't. It was the one we had to do 30 toes to bar, 30 pull-ups, 30 bar muscle ups, and you did thrusters in between, and then went into like a heavy complex.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on this bar that's like too small for me to be able to do like kicking pull-ups, foot's like scraping underneath almost for like muscle ups, and then like doing a heavy complex on like cut up concrete basically, to try and get my scoring. So I'm looking forward to being in an environment like going there on a Friday night or something like that, and then hitting out with like other coaches or like members and stuff like that. It should be
Friday night lights,
a lot more fun, and find that extra like 1% or 5% as well.
Yeah, have you done an environment like that before?
So when I signed up to CrossFit, within the first 3 weeks, I think it was like first month was the open.
Fuck.
And that was 20.1, which is the like 10 rounds for 8 ground overhead and then 10 burpees. And I done that workout, and I had never been so out of breath at that point in my life, like ever. I remember being on the floor like gasping for air. Like I did it in the time. But that was my first time doing any like open workouts. But I always find that one is like, for me, like my benchmark workout. So we retested that like 6 months later in the class, just before the pandemic, and I shaved off like 2 minutes. And then to qualify for SID, the first, which is the one next weekend, that was the first qualifier. So all 12 of us or X amount of us did that separately.
Fuck.
Which was like, part of me was like, when it comes up, I'm kind of looking forward to it because I can see if I've made more progress, I guess, for me. Even though it's an absolute horrible workout, which is just like non-stop. But I managed to like go like sub 10 this time. So that, which was good.
Do you have a favorite workout?
Nah, not really favorite. No.
Do you have a least
I wouldn't
favorite?
say I have a favorite one. Least favorite? I don't know. I don't know. I don't try not to put those like things on it. I just like, the only one that I really say is a benchmark one is that like that one for me. But that's literally just because it was like one of the first workouts I remember doing from starting CrossFit. I say, so I don't really have like a favorite or like worst one.
Give it time, you'll get some workouts that will scar you for life. You know what I mean?
So I did High Rocks work, so not CrossFit, but I did that like a month or so ago.
What was that one?
So High Rocks is like, I think it started in Germany, and it's like sponsored by Puma. It's like so there's 8 kilometers of running, and every kilometer you do a different functional like movement. So it could be 1,000 meters row, 1,000 meters ski, sled pushes, sled pulls, like 100 or 80-meter lunges or 100-meter lunges with sandbag carries. It finishes like 100 wall balls for you at the end for you to then run past the finish line.
Fuck.
And that one was tough. Like, 'cause I didn't train for it. I wasn't training my running like that much, and High Rocks isn't my focus. But they've started like, they did their first UK one then, and then since then I think they've done one in Birmingham. And they're going to Manchester, I think, in January, and then
Great city.
They're coming back. Sorry?
Great city.
Yeah. And then they're coming back to London, I think, again. So they're actually like popping up a lot in the UK now. But that one was just like a slog. I think the world record's like 57 minutes. Yeah.
That sounds disgusting. That actually does sound really fucked up. And no,
that one was like, I was so knackered after that one. I came third.
Jeez.
I was absolutely like, when I got home, I was tanked. Like, I just sat on the sofa. I had to force myself to get up and cook myself some food because I was like, you need to eat something. And then I pretty much just went to bed.
Like, hitting that, physical limit it's a pat on the back, really, right? You've mentally been able to put yourself to that position where you've got nothing.
Oh yeah, as soon as I finished, I grabbed like a Red Bull and 2 cans of Coke. Like, I just needed like, I don't drink that stuff ever. I just needed some sugar.
Yeah.
Like, I just needed something.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But that
sure.
was yeah, I'd say that one was more like mentally tough as well. But like because I was doing the individual and you're just going by yourself. Um, and yeah, just to push that hard, I guess, for that long.
Have you heard about like the Red Bull? I think it's called like the Red Bull 400 or something like that, where it's a 400-meter run, but you go up a ski ramp.
Oh, really? No, no,
Like
no.
you basically start at the bottom of the hill and you sprint to the top of the hill, and it's like 400 meters.
No, no.
Like
No, I never heard that.
that one looks so horrendous. Like people are like crawling up to the top because our legs are obviously shut down with all the lactic acid. Like
Mm.
that looks so fucked up. I kind of want to give it a go.
Yeah. No, that does sound, well, it doesn't sound fun. It's the wrong word. But yeah, I like, yeah, anything that challenges you,
Mm,
like mentally or physically, like I'm pretty much game for.
mm. Yeah, I was talking to a lady that did a bit of cross country skiing right yesterday, and that shit is insane. That's supposed to get you seriously fit.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've skied like one day my entire life, I think.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
ain't
yeah, I've
going
heard
cross
like cross
country.
country skiing. Yeah, it's need to be seriously fit for that.
Yeah, I wonder if that ever comes into some sort of functional fitness competition, hosted in Scandinavia somewhere, maybe in the next 10 years or something. It would
I think you never
offer a
know.
lot of bias for people that know how to do it, granted.
Mhm.
But maybe we see it.
Yeah, I guess the same when like what kayaking was up in the games this year.
Mm,
Like you're in like, yeah, essentially some people don't have such easy access to that sort of stuff or don't do that on a regular basis, whereas someone could just grow up by a lake and
mm.
have hit that like every weekend. So
Yeah, totally. I would like to see like all the sanctionals, right, obviously across the world are slightly biased towards a skill, like kind of like goes with those areas of the world. I think that'd be really, really cool. And you can see like then at the games you'll be able to see the combination of them all come together and kind of battle it out like gladiators as they all are. I think that'd be really cool as a spectator thing. I'm not really sure how you would be able to even the playing field as a athlete in a competitive standpoint, but me sitting in the crowd and watching would kind of want to see it rather than working out. I think it'd be cool.
hey, yeah, I guess yeah, yeah, pretty cool. I had paddleboarding at the European Champs, which I had never done before.
How was that?
Oh, that was tough. Like the running bit was fine. So you had to do a 1K loop and then you got your paddleboard. You did like, I think it was 800 meters. So you went around the lake and then you got out and then they just said, listen to the like judge when you come out of the water. And they were like, now you've got to pick up the sandbag and run. So just like, you didn't realize you had to do it like you knew you had to run another K, but not with like a 30 kg sandbag.
Mm.
But I'd say my running saved me on that workout because definitely wasn't the paddleboard.
Yeah, especially if it's like, you've never done it before and you got to be able to figure
Yeah.
this shit out on the fly with a high heart rate. That's impressive, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun getting to do something like once again that I just don't have like regular access to in like training and stuff like that.
I think that's one of the best things about these either CrossFit competitions or functional fitness competitions. If it's not, kind of classified as a CrossFit comp, I think that's one of the best things about it is, getting in a pool with a skier at the end or getting on a lake with a paddleboard and being able to run and there's a judge and they kind of like it's already coned out and you're doing shit that, you wouldn't be able to do or have access to, like you just said.
Yeah.
And that's the best part.
It's just great experiences, I guess. Yeah, as well.
For sure. So I asked everyone 3 questions, all right? Because I'm
Okay.
pretty cool about the answers, right? What's the greatest piece of life advice you ever received?
Wow.
It's a bit out there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Life advice. Okay.
Sorry if I've thrown a curveball.
No, yeah, I just didn't realize that one was coming. Sorry for taking too long.
I give over.
Okay.
I mean, you can relate it to the gym if you want. It's the life.
No, it was, I'm just trying to think how she worded it. Can I come back to this one?
Yeah, man, totally. Like,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no
Hopefully I
sweat.
don't take too long on the other ones.
Again, I'm not CNN news. Don't fucking worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's all good. What's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received? These ones are usually funny.
I don't even know when people give me life advice.
Or any like shit advice you've heard in the gym. I'm sure there's been 1,000,001 different things. Six meals a day, bro. All right, next one. I'll answer these two. Yeah. All right, man. Like 3 words you'd tell your younger self.
It's like a sentence, you mean?
Could be
Or
anything.
just free random?
Could be 3 randoms, or you can make a sentence.
Okay. I don't know. I'd probably tell my younger self to just keep on trying. In terms of like, yeah, not holding on to things from like the past and letting those like get in your way of your future.
That's a good one, man. That's actually really important, especially now, you know, with like everything's being fucking documented and you can easily jump back into the past, right? It's like, no, man, like just keep on going. Like don't worry about that. Take the lesson and go forward.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then like to fill up your own cup. That's probably like some of the best advice. Like it's hard to be happy or like to have happy relationships if you're unhappy. Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah, I'd say fill up your own cup as well.
I mean, yeah, you can't pour for an empty one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah. Thank you.
So like, the more you have in your own cup, the more you can fill up others.
100%. Yeah. Get a jug.
Yeah. And then worst advice. I don't even know. To be honest, I'm kind of blank on this one.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't even remember when someone's given me like really poor advice, like recently, anyway, at least that comes to mind.
Well, it's good that you've
heard people tell me that maybe I'm like a little bit like past my peak, which in terms of like my age for CrossFit or whatever. And like, yeah, I just brushed that off anyway. So yeah, probably that recently.
Yeah, fuck that, man. Like, no one gets to dictate the rules that you play your life by.
Yeah.
You know, it's not their life. It's yours, man. And if it makes you happy, fills that cup, and mate, you're clearly doing pretty fucking well. So
Cheers. Thanks.
keep on going, Paul. Mate, I appreciate your time.
Oh, it's been awesome. Yeah, thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
I'm excited to see where you go and what you do next.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. And then
yeah, man. Like, I'll watch the workouts and will not join you. CrossFit is no, I'm not doing that anymore. I weightlift. I like to sit down between sets and keep my heart rate at a steady like 70 beats a minute rather than 170 beats a minute. So mate, I can't wait to see what you do next. There's definitely a lot of potential in there. And if you put the fucking months and years as you're already doing into it, yeah, sky's the limit, pal.
Yeah, 100%. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Well, if you're ever down bottom right hand corner again, like, you know where I am on this weird part that we call Middle Earth. And there's a lot of gyms down here that we can, grab a coffee and I'll jump in a workout with you if you make it all the way down here. I think that's fair.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man. Have a good day.